Let's kick things off with Hollywood's self-appointed freedom fighter, Jamie Lee Curtis. She's a first-timer in the Grievance Games. Take a look.
It's bad. He's a great, great guy. They just cut NPR and, public broadcasting. Yes, they're trying to silence people, but that won't work.
Next up, here's Sonny clutching her pearls over Colbert getting fired, as if canceling a late-night flop show is the death of democracy itself. Here's Sonny.
But my concern is, if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned. Because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right?
A return contestant here at the Grievance Games, again, is Joy Reid. Apparently, she just can't get enough of embarrassing herself to the public. Take a look.
Trump has those kind of voters. They are dedicated to him personally. They care more about him being happy than them being happy. They will let their families be destroyed. There's nothing he can do. He can drown them in Texas. He can take away their FEMA.
Next up is Jeff Daniels. In case you don't know who Jeff Daniels is, and many don't, he's best known for playing the second-tier dumbass in the movie Dumb and Dumber. Now he's decided he's a moral authority on American politics. Because clearly nothing screams credibility like a washed-up actor reading MSNBC talking points. Here's Daniels calling Trump a snake oil salesman while trying to lecture the country on integrity. Check out Dumb or Dumber, whichever you prefer.
I think he's a snake oil salesman, and I think people will see that. We've lost decency, we've lost civility, we've lost respect for the rule of law, lost it. We have normalized verbal abuse on the internet.
Find the colors, find the light. In the gray, we'll find our sight. Brutal banner, fierce word. Shadows creep, streets unheard.
Welcome to Stay in the Gray podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and I'm here to bring you raw conversations about life and those undeniable human truths. We dive into the chaos, one issue at a time, blending comedy, controversy, and the unexplainable. Get ready for transparent ideas straight from the gray areas where most answers are hiding. So stay curious, stay inquisitive, please stay laughing, stay in the gray. Come check it out. We'll see you there. Hey guys, welcome back. It's time for They Really Said That, the Grievance Games edition, the show where America's loudest idiots compete every single week to see who can humiliate themselves the most. And somehow, 12 editions in, they haven't really run out of material. At this point, I swear I have to save a bunch of these things. I don't have time to include everybody and their stupidity. The supply of bad takes from celebrities and media hacks and political morons is like California's taxes. They just never stop going up. Today's lineup is like a greatest hits of hypocrisy, misinformation, and just sheer stupidity. Hollywood elites playing the victim, media hacks pushing lies, clueless celebrities pretending to be political experts. And yes, today, I even have a traitorous American chanting "Death to America" from foreign soil. It's the same broken narrative bubble every time. Facts don't matter, lies are treated as truth, and anyone who calls them out gets labeled the bad guy. Not here, and not today. It's hilarious. It's pathetic, and it's exactly why I do this. Because calling these people out is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's also deadly serious. We live in a time where half the country would rather believe blatant lies and manufactured outrage than admit that America is doing better under leadership that they've been told not to like. Let's get rolling. This is Stay in the Gray podcast. It's July 28th, 2025. Let's roll. Let's kick things off with Hollywood's self-appointed freedom fighter, Jamie Lee Curtis. She's a first-timer in the Grievance Games. Watch this clip and try not to laugh, as she just seems so out of touch. I'll let you decide. Take a look.
It's bad. He's a great, great guy. They just cut NPR and, public broadcasting. Yes, they're trying to silence people, but that won't work. It won't work. We will just get louder.
Really, in case you didn't get that, she was referring at the beginning to Stephen Colbert's firing. I talked about that in the last show. Apparently his firing is a plot to silence people. One guy. Silence everybody. Jamie, the liberals have been the ones running the censorship Olympics through all this woke nonsense the last few years. Zuckerberg actually admitted that the Biden administration pressured him into censoring right-wing stories. Twitter was basically a DNC safe space until Elon blew it up. Colbert did not get canceled because of some First Amendment crisis. He got canceled because he's fucking boring and losing CBS $40 million a year. That's not censorship. That's just mercy. And then she cries about NPR and public broadcasting losing federal funding. Oh no. How will America survive without taxpayer-funded propaganda that exists to slander Trump and spoon-feed bedtime stories to adults who still wear masks outside? Here's a thought. If your show needs tax dollars to survive, maybe it just sucks. Nobody owes you federal funding because you can't get people to watch. So yeah, Jamie, keep getting louder, as she says. We won't stop. It's not going to work. Keep screaming into the echo chamber. America's already tuning you out. Welcome to the Grievance Games, where entitlement means delusion, and you've got both locked down well. All right. We've talked about it before. Next up, straight from The View, which might as well be like the farm team for the Grievance Games, we have Sonny Hostin. And Sonny, bless her heart, she just keeps giving me material. Here's Sonny clutching her pearls over Colbert getting fired, as if canceling a late night flop show is the death of democracy itself. Here's Sonny.
But my concern is if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned. Because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled. That's right. That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled.
Oh my goodness. They had like 40 people in there, and they're all like, yeah. I mean, I wonder if they're even paid to clap. But the dismantling of our democracy, Sonny, it's a late night talk show that was losing $40 million a year. CBS finally did what they should have done years ago and put it out of its misery. It's not a constitutional crisis. It's called a bad business decision finally catching up to you. And the First Amendment, yes, Sonny, Colbert can say what he wants. He can trash Trump all day, and he did. But freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequence. If I walk into my boss's office and I tell him that he sucks, I also get the freedom to pack up my desk. It's not complicated. CBS is a private company. And then she actually says if comedians are being attacked, I don't know if I'd call Colbert a comedian. Sure. But are you kidding me? Where were you during woke cancel culture the last few years? The left spent years hunting down comedians for offensive content. Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais, Kevin Hart. The list goes on. I love stand-up comedy, and it was attacked. But now that it's one of your guys, again, I wouldn't even put them in the same universe as the comedians I just listed. But now that it's one of your guys that's getting axed, suddenly you care about comedians being attacked. The hypocrisy from you people, Sonny, especially you at The View, is Olympic level. And just in case you don't think I'm carrying receipts for your hypocrisy, Sonny, I always do. Watch this side-by-side flip-flop special from Sonny. Hypocrisy defined. Enjoy.
People were dying for this information. There was some sort of list that everybody thought was going to come out, and who's on the list. What's important for us to note is we shouldn't be repeating names that are on the list, because just because your name has not on the list, but in the documents, just because your name is on the documents doesn't mean that you have done anything criminally irresponsible or illegal or civilly irresponsible.
Or that you were a client.
Or that you were a client. These documents, as I read them, only reflect Epstein's sexual assaults of women and his sexual behavior. So I think that...
And Ghislaine also?
And Ghislaine. And so being named in this suit does not equate to being accused of wrongdoing. And I think that is extremely important, because conspiracy theorists seem to not understand or enjoy facts.
Yes.
These are the facts.
There is a list. Trump's name is on the logs, the passenger logs of Epstein's aircraft at least 7 times. That's already been made public. I mean, of course, Trump is denying any and all allegations, but all of that information is out there. Why not just put it to rest and say, release the list?
There it is, folks. I'm not making shit up. Unbelievable. 2024, she's rolling her eyes and saying, just because your name's on a list, it doesn't mean anything. But a year later, 2025, under Trump, she's suddenly screaming, release the list. Trump's on the logs. Sonny, you really don't see how embarrassing this is. There is no consistency. There's no principle. Just protect the Democrats and smear Trump. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton and his wife were on the logs dozens of times, actually up to 28 times on the plane. But you didn't have any interest in that, did you? This woman is either so dumb that she doesn't hear herself, or she knows exactly what she's doing because her audience is that gullible. Either way, someone here is fucking dumb. Move on from Sonny. A return contestant here at the Grievance Games, again, is Joy Reid. Apparently, she just can't get enough of embarrassing herself to the public. Watch this clip of Joy talking about Trump voters, because you won't believe the deranged filth coming out of this hack's mouth. Take a look.
Trump has those kind of voters. They are dedicated to him personally. They care more about him being happy than them being happy. They will let their families be destroyed. There's nothing he can do. He can drown them in Texas. He can take away their FEMA. He can do anything he wants to them.
Every time I hear it, the rage builds. Let's go one by one, because this is next level idiocy. Caring more about Trump than themselves is what she claims. Joy, if Trump does well as president, the country does well. Everyone benefits. His opposition should want that too. But apparently rooting against America is the new progressive pastime. Next, she says the voters are willing to let their families be destroyed. What families are you talking about? Because the only people I've seen disown family over politics are liberals who refuse to sit at Christmas dinner with their own relatives because their relatives dared to vote for Trump. It's your side that's high and mighty enough to break up families over elections. And I would bet everything on that difference, Joy. And then there's the part that had me, and probably anybody watching that doesn't cater to the left, fuming. Trump drowning kids in Texas. What kind of vile, disgusting person even says something like that? You're using a natural disaster to smear millions of people that you don't agree with? It's beneath pathetic. It's evil. And it's 100% false rhetoric. FEMA was literally out of money under Biden. Trump got aid to the flood victims super fast. But Joy throws out this lie with a straight face because facts don't mean anything to her. That's why she's out. She has nothing. She has no argument, no substance, just this like idea of shock level or shock jock level nonsense. And people actually watch her? CNN and MSNBC? Well, not many people watch her. She was fucking fired. But it's enough for the CNN and all of them to keep pretending that she matters. And that might be the most depressing part of it all, because if this is what passes as a political analyst, then beware of it, political analysts. They apparently are professional liars, caked up in makeup, paid to poison dumb people with even dumber ideas. Speaking of dumb, next up is Jeff Daniels. In case you don't know who Jeff Daniels is, and many don't, he's best known for playing the second tier dumbass in the movie Dumb and Dumber. Now he's decided he's a moral authority on American politics, because clearly nothing screams credibility like a washed-up actor reading MSNBC talking points. Here's Daniels calling Trump a snake oil salesman while trying to lecture the country on integrity. Check out Dumb or Dumber, whichever you prefer.
I think he's a snake oil salesman, and I think people will see that. We've lost decency, we've lost civility, we've lost respect for the rule of law. Lost it. We have normalized verbal abuse on the internet. We've normalized bullying, much as the woke generation tried to, change that. It's back. And out the window goes character, integrity.
All right. Enough. Jesus Christ. I can't believe that came out of this dude's mouth. Well, snake oil salesman, I'll address that first. Really, Jeff? We're talking about a billionaire businessman who has brought in hundreds of billions in deals and investments that actually benefit the United States. Under Trump, we've been seeing historically low inflation, record high gains in the stock market. The S&P 500 grew nearly 68% during his first term. The tariff revenue flooding federal coffers to the tune of hundreds of billions, estimates ranging from 171 billion to potentially over 300 billion in 2025 alone. Low inflation and booming market returns while punching trade balances. That's not snake oil, it's economic steroids. And if that is snake oil, give me 2 bottles. Give me 3 bottles. And Jeff, what exactly are your qualifications to assess this man? Especially on morals and integrity. You read scripts for a living, although I haven't seen you in much since Dumb and Dumber. Nobody voted for you. Nobody asked for your wisdom about politics. And the only time you've been relevant in the last 20 years, was when you played the dumb guy in a comedy that aged better than you did. I'm not going to lie to you. That's one of my favorite comedies. And you fucked it up. And then he hits us with, we've lost decency, civility, respect for the rule of law. You mean the rule of law that Trump is trying to enforce while your side cheers for riots, for looting, for burning cities down? Spare me the lecture on this. And don't talk to me about bullying on the internet. Your side calls conservatives Nazis for wearing a MAGA hat and knocks them off people's heads and keys cars, vandalizes property. If you want to talk about bullies, Jeff, you need to start with your own team. And finally, character and integrity have gone out the window. The left spent 4 years lying, censoring, weaponizing government agencies, and screaming at the sky. If you think that is integrity, then maybe it's time you went back to being dumb or dumber, whichever one fits best. Thanks for ruining what was once a classic comedy. Now please shut the fuck up and go memorize somebody else's lines. All right, here's a little bit of comedy relief. It's still an issue that needs to be addressed, but goodness. Let's talk about the WNBA. Many of the players staged a warm-up stunt during the All-Star game, demanding pay, like an increase, while their league bleeds money and survives on life support from the NBA. grab your popcorn. They had shirts that said something along the lines of "Pay us what you owe us" or something like that. Here's Angel Reese, one of the more outspoken, annoying players, and she's on camera lecturing us about that WNBA players deserve more revenue share, and that they won't stop until they get the money they deserve. Because apparently, the league losing millions doesn't matter to these women. Check Angel out.
The team revenue, the revenue shares, that's really important for us. We deserve it. I know we're not letting up. I know we're going to do whatever it takes to get what we deserve.
Here's how everybody should respond to that.
I just want to be paid what I'm worth.
You got it. WNBA lost $20 million last year, so each player owes us $138,888.89.
That may be one of the greatest meme clips of all time. First off, about the All-Star warm-up shenanigans. Nobody was really watching anyway, but the media sure still rewards this type of nonsense. The league's popularity, give them some credit. The league's popularity is growing. Attendance rose by 48% this year. So what, from 10 to 20, 10 to 15? Merchandise is flying off the shelves, Caitlin Clark. Viewership is in the double digits. But guess what? The league still lost $40 to $50 million in 2024. Apparently profits are still a fantasy dream. This is like Colbert. NBA literally subsidizes the WNBA just to keep it alive. If Adam Silver ever pulled the plug, the whole league would fold faster than a house of cards in a wind tunnel. So these ladies want more pay because feelings? Because they think women deserve equal pay without equal profits? In any business, if you're the bottom line bleeding money, you don't get raises. You're fired. Let me simplify for these ladies. If the numbers are down, you don't deserve more. In fact, you owe money for costing the company. That's capitalism, and it's not equity gestures. Angel Reese calls for more revenue share, while Indiana Fever rookie, we all know, Caitlin Clark, made only about $78,000 in 2025, despite accounting for 26.5% of the league's economic activity. I know they hate that. With a $36 million local impact as well, by the way. Someone call her boss. She's alone keeping this house of cards from collapsing. So ladies, here's a free business tip. Make money first, then ask for more. Until then, stop acting like participation trophies come with a paycheck. Be happy anybody's watching at all. All right, we're going to finish this with, I guess I could call it, we're going to finish it strong, but this has me livid. Kala Walsh, if anybody's heard of this person. She's 21 years old, and she's an American activist, there's that word again, who decided to stand on Iranian soil and chant for the death of her own country. Here's the clip. I have receipts on this too. Brace yourself, because it's probably going to piss you off.
Thank you for welcoming us to your beautiful country. We do not deserve such kindness and such strength, and we all have a duty when we go back to the countries we come from to share the truth we saw here and to struggle against Zionism and imperialism. Glory to all the martyrs, glory to the axis of resistance. May we see victory within our lifetimes. Margbar America, Margbar Israel.
Thank you, Kala.
Wow. She thanks Iran first for inviting her to their beautiful country. Yeah, nothing screams beautiful like poverty, oppression, and state-sanctioned executions. Then she praises the so-called martyrs, the same terrorists who kill Americans and act like they've done something great for God. Then she caps it all off with the most disgusting part. Death to America, death to Israel. This isn't just a bad take. This is treason. And I'm not being dramatic. She's not protesting policy. She's openly siding with the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism and calling for her own country's destruction. If you hate America that much, Kala, give up your passport and stay the fuck over there. Don't come back to live off the freedom and wealth you just spat on. There was a time not too long ago when something like this would have had serious consequences. You don't get to cozy up to our enemies, chant for our death, and then come home like nothing happened. But this is the modern left. These are the people that the media coddles. The same crowd that thinks misgendering somebody is violence, yet applauds a white suburban activist chanting for America's demise in Tehran. Kala Walsh, you've just proven you're not a clueless pundit. You're just a traitor wrapped in activism. You're the perfect example of how far America's radical fringe has rotted, hating the very country that gives you the freedom to spew this garbage. You are pathetic. End it there. Like I said, I have plenty more. You'll just have to tune into the next edition. I believe that will be the 13th Grievance Games. But now, don't worry, we're going to do some awards. 7 contestants, 0 self-awareness, and more stupidity than one episode should legally be allowed to contain. But as always, here are the medals. Let's do this. The gold medal, we just heard about her. I couldn't give it to anybody else. Kala Walsh, proving that yes, you can be born in the greatest country on earth and still side with the terror-sponsoring regime chanting for its destruction. Treason wrapped in activism, an all-time low thus far. And that's saying something. Silver medal, Joy Reid. You know, my heartstrings are being touched with some of these. But for her setting a new record in TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, accusing his supporters of letting him drown their children while lying about FEMA. Bravo, Joy, MSNBC's taxpayer-funded clown. Bronze medal, Sonny Hostin, for an Olympic-level flip-flop, pretending Epstein lists were irrelevant under Democrats, then screaming, release the list the second Trump's name could possibly be exploited. Consistency is dead with this woman, but hypocrisy is alive and well. So thank you for giving us such clarity. Honorable mentions. I can't leave anybody out. Jamie Lee Curtis, Hollywood victim, Olympics, for thinking Colbert's failing show getting axed is somehow the death of democracy. Jeff Daniels, you big dumbass. He is dumb, dumber, and politically clueless for lecturing America on morals while calling a billionaire job creator a snake oil salesman. Lastly, the WNBA and Angel Reese, they get participation trophy economic lessons for demanding more money while the NBA subsidizes their league just to keep it alive. So that's it. You know, I hate to say I enjoyed this episode. I thought this episode had good content for what I'm trying to do here, which is bring awareness to I mean, this stuff is ridiculous. And I'm giving you receipts for all of it. I'm not just sitting here spouting back at them. It's a full showcase of lies and hypocrisy. I hate hypocrisy, and that's all I see. It's pure idiocy. These clowns never change. They just take turns at the microphone saying stupid shit. I think they're vying for a spot here on the Grievance Games, so perhaps I should maybe not bash them too hard or else they'll stop. But yeah, I wrapped it all up in a little bow for you and tried to make it funny. But it is serious. The people actually believe these lies. They buy into this garbage. And that's exactly why this country is digging out of the hole that we dug. So help me in digging us out. Let's do it together. Every like, every subscribe, every follow, every 5-star rating on Spotify, since they love that so much. It helps, and it spreads the truth faster and further. And it unites us, the like-minded, which we need right now. So share it, rate it, tell a friend, Let's do this together. Drop me comments. I love interacting with all of you. I'll keep torching all the lies, I promise. Just help me make sure that people hear it. So stay strong, stay questioning, stay resilient, stay in the gray. Love you guys.
Shadows screams, screams, unheard.